I still remember the day I signed the papers. She was there right beside me, fingers laced with mine, eyes soft and teary like she was losing something too. "You deserve someone who actually sees you," she whispered. And I believed her. Amanda was my older sister, just 2 years apart, but she always acted like the wiser one, protective, grounded, calm when I was a storm. She was the one who told me to leave him, who made me tea when I cried so hard my ribs hurt, the one who said, "This isn't love anymore. You know that, right?" She listened to every rant, every suspicion. She was the first one I texted when Daniel didn't come home until a.m. She was the one who told me, if he's hiding his phone, it's because he's hiding something. And Daniel, he wasn't cruel. Not in the obvious way. That's what made it harder. He didn't yell. He didn't cheat, at least not that I knew. But he stopped choosing me. The spark died, and so did the little things. The Sunday coffees, the spontaneous kisses, the way he used to look at me like I was his favorite person. We became roommates who barely touched. And Amanda, she became my anchor. She'd sit across from me on my bathroom floor while I cried in a hoodie and wiped my face with toilet paper. She never judged, never said "I told you so," just listened. When I finally made the decision to leave, she cheered me on. She even helped me pack. "I'll never let you go through this alone," she said, pulling me into a hug the night before the court date. And I believed her, again. But looking back, there were signs, tiny, almost invisible signs. Like how she flinched when I brought up certain fights with Daniel, or how she changed the subject every time I asked if she'd seen him lately. And once, just once, I caught her smiling at a text that made her lock her phone too fast. I didn't say anything, because she was my sister, my safe place, right? But one night, weeks after the divorce was finalized, I found something that didn't make sense, something I wasn't supposed to see, and suddenly, nothing felt safe anymore. It was nothing at first, just a piece of paper, tucked inside my sister's purse while she was in the shower. I was grabbing a charger. That's all I was looking for. But her bag was open on the bed, and the corner of the receipt was sticking out. "Dinner for two, at our favorite restaurant, the one Daniel never wanted to go back to. Too overpriced," he said. "Too fancy for a Tuesday night." I stared at it. The date hit me first, 2 weeks after my divorce. A Saturday night. The same night Amanda told me she was homesick with a migraine. I almost laughed. Almost. I told myself, it's nothing. She probably went with a friend. A date. Maybe she didn't want to tell you so soon after your split. I wanted to believe that. So I didn't say a word. I folded it back exactly how I found it. But from that moment on, I started noticing everything. The way her phone suddenly had a password. How she'd leave the room to answer certain calls. How her smile looked guilty. And Daniel? I hadn't spoken to him since the final hearing. No texts, no calls. But somehow, I kept feeling his name in the room when Amanda was near. One night, I asked her directly, casually, I thought, "Have you seen Daniel lately?" Her answer came too quick. No, why would I? She didn't meet my eyes. Then she changed the subject to my job, my therapy, my plans for the weekend, anything to pivot. My gut screamed, but my heart, it begged for silence. Because what kind of person would do that? What kind of sister? Still, I needed to know. So I waited, watched, and one night, I followed her. I felt disgusting for doing it, paranoid, ashamed. But what I saw made everything inside me collapse. She wasn't sick. She wasn't with a friend. She was in his car. They sat parked in front of his apartment for almost an hour. Windows fogged, heads close, her hand on his arm. And when she leaned over when their faces met, I left before the kiss even happened. I couldn't watch it. I couldn't breathe. My sister, my ex-husband, together, behind my back. I didn't sleep that night. I just lay there, staring at the ceiling, clutching a pillow like it could keep my chest from splitting open. My hands wouldn't stop shaking. My stomach was twisted so tight I thought I might throw up. I'd already lost Daniel. That heartbreak had its own quiet, hollow pain. But this was betrayal with a pulse. This was someone who saw me break, and chose to break me further. Amanda knew every tear I shed over that man, every fear I had, every doubt I tried to silence. She knew how much it cost me to let go, and she still, what? slid right into his passenger seat like none of it mattered. I kept seeing her face, the soft, comforting version of her that wiped my tears and brought me wine. The same face that now pressed against his window. It didn't make sense. Not in any version of the world I wanted to live in. I thought about confronting her, about screaming, throwing something, exposing it. But instead, I did what I always did. I sat with it, quiet, numb, trying to figure out where I went wrong. I kept replaying every moment, every word she said during the divorce. Was she lying the whole time? Was this planned? Or worse, had it started before we split? That thought made my throat close. Because if it had, if she was the reason things fell apart, no, I couldn't go there. Not yet. I didn't eat the next day. Just sipped cold coffee until it tasted like nothing. Amanda texted me around noon. Hey, you okay? You've been quiet. I stared at it. Quiet? Quiet was all I had left. I typed out a dozen responses. None of them felt like enough, so I just answered, yeah, just tired. She sent back a heart emoji, a heart, from someone who just shattered mine. And the worst part, I still didn't know what to do. After that night, something inside me changed. Not in a dramatic, movie scene kind of way. It was quieter than that. Colder. I stopped trying to understand her. Stopped trying to fill in the blanks or make excuses for what I saw. Because there was only one truth that mattered now. She made a choice. And so would I. I didn't confront her. Not yet. Instead, I watched. I noticed the way her mood would shift when her phone buzzed. How she suddenly had weekend plans she couldn't explain. How she used phrases Daniel used to say, ones I never heard from her before. I started collecting things. Screenshots. A receipt here. A call log there. Not because I wanted revenge. I didn't want to ruin them. I wanted to be ready. Ready for the moment when she'd look me in the eye and lie. Ready for the moment I'd need proof, not for her, but for me, so I'd never question myself again. There was power in that. In watching silently, pretending not to know. In saying, sounds fun, when she made up another story. It gave me time. Time to feel the grief without letting it destroy me. Some nights I still cried, but it wasn't the same kind of crying. It wasn't confusion anymore. It was clarity, sharp, cold, clean. She was no longer my safe place. She was a stranger wearing my sister's face. And the truth? I didn't want her apology. I didn't even want an explanation. I wanted distance and dignity. I just needed to choose the right moment. Because when I walked away this time, I wouldn't come back. It happened on a Sunday. She came over with iced coffee, like she used to. Like we were still sisters. Like I didn't know everything. I let her talk. Let her sit on my couch. Let her ask me how I was doing. Then I asked, calm as ever, are you seeing anyone? She blinked. No. Not really. Why? I looked her straight in the eye. Are you seeing Daniel? Her lips parted. No sound. Just silence. Then, too quickly, of course not. Why would you even? I reached into the drawer and pulled out the printed receipt. The one from the restaurant. Her name. The date. 2 entrees. Her face changed. I added a second paper, her call log. 4 missed calls from D after midnight. And finally, the photo. I hadn't wanted to take it, but I had. Her in his car. Her hand on his chest. She stared at it. Still she tried. Amanda, it's not what you think. I smiled. I think it's exactly what I see. And then I stood up. No screaming. No begging for answers. I just said, you watched me fall apart over him. And you waited what? 2 weeks to replace me. She opened her mouth again. Some excuse ready. I didn't care. I'm done, I said. She reached out, tried to touch my arm. I stepped back. You chose him. You can keep him. And that was it. I didn't yell. I didn't fall to pieces. I just opened the door and closed it behind her. Hard. And with it, I closed the part of my life that ever thought she was mine to trust. It's been 6 months. I moved to a new apartment. Smaller. Quieter. No shared memories. No lingering ghosts. Just peace. Daniel never reached out. Neither did Amanda. Not even a message to explain, to justify, to pretend like it didn't happen. At first, that silence felt like a wound. Now, it feels like a boundary. One I didn't ask for but needed. I don't check their social media. I don't ask mutual friends how they're doing. Honestly, I don't care. Because closure didn't come from them. It came the morning I looked in the mirror and realized I'm not who I was when this began. I'm not the woman who cried on bathroom floors. Not the woman who begged for crumbs of honesty. Not the woman who thought love meant sacrificing your gut feeling. I'm someone else now. Someone who knows the difference between support and performance. Between loyalty and convenience. And when people ask what happened between me and my sister, I just say, we grew apart. Because explaining her betrayal won't make it smaller. It won't make it sting less. And honestly, it's not my job to carry that story anymore. I've got new stories now. They're slower, softer, and painfully real. Some days still hurt, but they're mine. And as for her, she thought keeping it secret gave her the power. But walking away without a single scream, that's the loudest thing I've ever done.